Hi everybody, welcome to Simple Home Brew. My name is Pierre and I'm going to do a brew today. It's going to be an Australian lager. It's an extract brew. I'm going to do it exactly how the tin says I should do it. That's it. So stick around for more. Sorry guys, I've lost the video footage that I did. This is just an intro to the brew I'm doing now, the Australian lager. And the Australian lager is just a extract brew that I'm going to do. It's got Mangrove Jack's dextrose, a kilo of dextrose in it. It's got the Australian lager extract, which with the original yeast that I'm going to use. So this lager, or this brew, is going to be done exactly how it's meant to be done on the instructions. So with that, I have already cleaned my fermenter out. So I've cleaned, and this is what you should be doing. You should be make sure your fermenter is spotless clean and completely filled with sanitizer and cleaned out as well. So make sure it's sanitized and cleaned. There are other videos online that will show you how to do that. I am going to make some soon, so they will be easy to follow. The instructions also say that you need about 3 litres of hot water, hot boiled water, and with that water you need to pour it into a heat-proof container like this or something like it. So hopefully you can see on this video what I'm doing. So with this container, I now will pour hot water in there. Now anything over about 60 degrees Celsius will sanitize anything anyway. And this fermenter bucket is heat proof. It can handle heat, so it's fine. So with that, I pour the hot water in. I'll open up my dextrose. It's a 1 kilo bag of dextrose. Now dextrose is just sugar basically, it's a fermentable sugar. It will build up on the end here, so if you open the opening up pretty good, it'll pour out much quicker and won't get stuck on the ends from the steam coming up. So throw the dextrose in, just like this. Now I haven't had to sanitize this yet because this is purely hot water. It won't affect the brew in any way because the hot water will kill any kind of bacteria that will be in it. So now I will give this a wipe down. This is going to be my stirring stick for the dextrose. And with this, I'll just quickly, I have a container of sanitizer down on the floor there, so I just wanted to quickly wipe this down to make sure it is clean before I start. So we'll go in, stir our dextrose until it dissolves in the hot water. And you can see it eventually will just dissolve like sugar does. It's very fine sugar basically, and other things in it that will feed the yeast as well. So that's a really good product to put into your brew. Now that'll be nice and sweet now. So on that, I'll put this in the bucket. We'll set this aside for 5 minutes. I'll pop the lid on it so nothing gets in it. We'll now have to open our tin of Australian lager. So with this tin, we've got a yeast in the lid like this. Just a packet of yeast that they supply. And I recommend use it. They actually supply it so we can use it, so we should be using it. I don't care what anyone says there. If you do want to change the flavour of your beer in the future when you do make a beer, grab a different kind of yeast. If you want to make an ale yeast or if you want to make an ale or a lager of some different types with different fermenting temperatures, you can do that. You can actually change your yeast to ferment it differently. But right now, I'm just doing it exactly how I'm supposed to. It is 30 odd degrees outside. This thing's pretty hot, pretty warm. It's going to pour all right. It's not cold. I'll use an electric can opener, and as soon as I've done this, I'll get back to you guys. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, I can smell it waft up now. It's such a beautiful smell. It's all beautiful. I can't help myself, always love it. Anyway, we'll just bring this back up. Grab our extract, which is a lager extract. Obviously pour it in just like this. Hope you guys can see. Probably not. I'll bring you over a bit. See what we're doing here. So I'll just take out the rest of the extract from the can, just like this, so that I get most of it out that I can. Now you've got to cool this down now to 18 degrees or so. I think it's going to be fermented at, actually no, it actually says, so on this, being that it's called a lager, we're not actually lagering it. The recommendation is to actually ferment it at 25 degrees Celsius. So we'll still follow the instructions exactly how they say. We'll find out how good or how bad this tastes. So we'll go from their instructions only. So I'll just leave that there. So we just stir that until it's nice and watery. Once it's watery, I'll actually put the lid back on to keep any bugs getting in, and go and get myself 20. What it was for? It needs to be 23 litres, so I need to get myself 20 litres of cold water from the tap. Now, they do suggest maybe if you do get it from the tap, there's chlorine in our water supply. It will taste different if you leave it for 24 hours. Just leave a lid on with a little bit of opening, and the chlorine will evaporate out of the actual water naturally. What the chlorine does is actually kill all the bacteria in the tap. I'm getting bitten by ants. Oh, shit. So now, just stirring that up, just making sure it's all nicely dissolved through. So I can smell a bit of apricot smell actually in that. So I wonder what that is. We'll let that just stir a little bit more until it fully dissolves. Once it's dissolved nicely, we can use it then as our base. Now with this type of brewing, you could actually use this extract and add your own flavourings to it. You can put hops, all kinds of hops in it. Oh my god, ants. Need to get some spray. While I'm doing this, I'm actually aerating it as well, so I'm getting some air through the brew. So it's starting to dissolve properly. Okay, that's pretty much right. I'll leave that sitting there. So now I'm going to go and take my fermenter inside, fill my fermenter up with 20 litres of cold water, and then I'll pour this extract on top of the cold water. That way I don't heat up my fermenter too much, and it hasn't got a chance of melting, which are Fermzillas, Fermentosauruses, that's what I'm using at Fermzilla. To have a chance of melting, I did find out that the Fermentosaurus is 35 degrees Celsius, sort of a maximum, where the Fermzilla is 50 degrees Celsius, so it's not so bad with that one. Anyway, so I'll be back soon. All right, guys. Made it. So just have to bear in mind that water, approximately 20 litres of water is approximately 20 kilograms. So it's a fairly heavy little piece of water. So what I'm doing now is I filled my Fermzilla up. Show you on the gauge here. Let's see what I'm doing here. Fill my Fermzilla up to 20 litres. And with that, we'll now pour our extract in there and mix it in nicely. I have aerated it. There's a lot of air in that right now because it's gone in with a hose, so it's nice and splashed and everything else. Now, here on in, everything has to be sanitized. And I'll put sanitizer in this bottle just to make sure that we don't get bacteria getting inside. So it's a little bit of a wet process, but it's great to do. It's a smart thing to do. So don't forget to sanitize. So this lid here, the sanitizer obviously is not harmful to you in a small dose. We have to basically put this on a surface that's not contaminated, which I've got a bucket down here that is full of sanitizer, so I'll use that. You won't see it in camera. And I've got a funnel. I never used to have a funnel, and that's why I'm laughing, because that was something, that was a bit of a luxury up until now. So I've just sanitized this so that I can easily pour, hopefully, the 3 litres of concentrated wort into my brew bucket or fermenter. So this is the concentrate here, you can see. I'm going to try and do it so you can see what I'm doing. It's probably a dangerous way of doing it, but we're off. It's fully dissolved, so that's really good. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to make a mess, like always. Okay. That's brought it up to 23 litres, exactly what I wanted to do. Just remember, when you do a 23 litre batch of beer, remember that you will lose about a litre or so on just yeast. So I've just sanitised this, and I've kept it in a sanitised area. So now I'm going to put it onto my Fermzilla. In my Fermzilla, I had a problem with it sealing, so I got a new O-ring, and I put a bit of food grade grease around it so it nicely seals, and I've tested it and it actually can seal now, which is what I wanted to do. So this is great because I'm pressure fermenting. So before I put the lid on though, this needs to have yeast pitched to it to make sure that it actually does ferment. So with that, the yeast has to be pitched at a temperature of around about, and I'm pretty sure it says 25 degrees Celsius, which I'll have a look now. Fermenting. When temperature is between 22 and 30 degrees, stir in the yeast. So now my temperature of this should be pretty close to 25 degrees. It is 26 degrees, so it's at temperature, at pitch. At pitching temperature. I've got extract all over me. And so with the yeast, we want to be careful all the time. It just says brewing yeast, so this is what they say to pitch it with. It's got written there, brewing yeast, you probably saw it, 7 grams net, 1 packet. What I do, just in case, because this has been around, just spray a bit of sanitizer on it, just to be sure. You probably don't have to, but it's always wise. Even with the scissors, just give them a quick hit with the sanitizer, just so that it's protected from any kind of outside bacteria. So cut her open, you just throw it in. And this has got to be stirred in apparently, so we'll stir in. It smells good. Get our little sanitized stirring stick and we'll just stir in. This is how easy it is. Now I've already aerated it by filling it with water, so stirring it like that's fine. That's all you need to do. It's been aerated from the tap water anyway, and I have used tap water, by the way, from our local tap. So that's now sealed. I will put the lid or the lock ring on, just like that. Just tighten it hand tight because it will change later. To me, that's sealed, right? So we are pressure fermenting. So with pressure fermenting, I need to make sure this can actually take at least 10 psi. So I'll need to get the CO2, which I don't want to get rid of the oxygen in here at the moment because oxygen is yeast's best friend. If I fill it up and get rid of all the oxygen, yeast has got nothing to eat, breathe and breed with. So it won't work. So when I fill this up with CO2, it's only to check the pressure to make sure it actually can take pressure. I will be filling it up on the pressure side, the output end. The only way to tell both these noggins, or both these nozzles, are multi-fit. You can fit a gas or a beer connector on either one of them. So you got to be extra careful you don't put it on the out line. If you put it on the out line, you can ruin your gauges. So I have a butterfly valve and gauge, and if I put this on that line, beer will go through and potentially ruin my gauge, which is lucky. I haven't done that yet. So my CO2 bottle, you won't be able to see it. CO2 bottle has a nozzle on it, has a gauge on it. I always make sure that the valve is shut. This is open all the way before I open the pressure valve or the open valve. That way I can be sure how much pressure I'm putting in straight away. So then I will bring the pressure up. You're not going to see this, I'm sorry. I haven't got the camera on the right angle. I might just move it. So I've got my gauge here. It's probably seeable. I'll open the pressure valve or the isolation valve, and then I'll wind my pressure regulator until it brings it up to 10 pounds. And then I'll open the valve and it's still at 10 pounds pressure. It'll change once I put it on. So I'm pressurizing the fermenter now. Okay, so it's at 9 pounds. Bring it up to 10. I might actually bring it up to about 15, just to be sure that it doesn't leak. We don't need to go any higher than that. And I'll just leave it on there for about 5-10 minutes and just see how it goes. Now I did remember to close the valves just then, make sure that it was shut and ready to go. So at the moment we've got no leaks. I can't see any problems at all. I will get some sanitizer and spray around all the little areas and make sure there's nothing coming out, but I've got nothing going on. Now, I might even just, there's nothing. It's absolutely awesome, no leaking at all. So getting that washer around the base here was the best thing I did. I just could not get it sealed before at 10 pounds, or I got it to seal at 8 pounds, and it's as good as I got. Everywhere else I've got no drips. Oh, hang on, I have a drip here. What's that? That's all right, that's just looks like it's just sanitizer dripping down. That's all right, all good. No leaks. All right. So this is actually ready to go and be placed in an environment that keeps it at 25 degrees Celsius. It's going to be 32 today in Gippsland where I am now, but I'm going to pop this in a cooler environment inside my house for now until I can insulate this room. It's not too good, and put a jacket on it. So right now I'm going to pop this valve. That's my regulator letting out steam. Now it's still pressurized at about 10 pounds, at 9 pounds. That's where I had a leak last time here. It leaks. So I may need to change that. So I had a problem last time where I put the regulator on, and when it sat here, it didn't really seal properly. You'd touch it and it lets steam out. So that's where my pressure was lost last time. So I might change this and use something else to see if that will stop that from happening. So I'll get back to you guys. But the next one I put on doesn't seal. I'll change this altogether. So just wash them in sanitizer to make sure they're clean. And this is a brand spanking new one. So this should not have the same problem. We shall try. Ready? There we go. So it was a regulator. We now have, no, it looks like I'm going to have to change that. So depressurize that. I'll take that off and I'll change it over to a plastic one, because I know the plastic ones seal better. I know it's ridiculous, but it does. And I'll get back to you guys once again. All right, guys, I've now changed it to the red one. I'm going to top up the pressure again. Bring that up about 15 pounds. Make sure it doesn't leak. I'll spray that just around it, just make sure we don't get any bubbles. Nothing leaking. Okay, we're good. Let's see if this one leaks. So I should drop it down to 10 pounds, yeah, which is doing now. Right, I'll stop it anyway. Look at that, no leaking. I don't know what it is, but the metal one seems to have a problem with sealing with these. So I might have to get some new metal ones of these and attach it to this differently. It's a problem. We will solve them. So we shouldn't have any issues from here on in. The pressure should stay pressurized. Yeah, so it'll be quite good. I'm now going to pack this into my house outside of here. I have a fridge being used already for fermenting, so I can't use it today. So I'll have to do this one in the house, and luckily it doesn't matter if it's sitting at 25 degrees because it's meant to sit between 21 to 20 and 30 degrees, so it's going to work well. So I'll get back to you guys in another couple of videos away from here. This video is just a quick tutorial on how I brew extract brews, exactly how they say to do it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like what you see. You can see the mistakes and the problems you can have, and I'll show you what I have, what problems I have, and I hope you learn from them, because I'm learning all the time from you guys. So guys, I almost forgot. A quick SG reading, starting gravity, just making sure of what it starts at. So we're going to spill, pour a little bit out. So what this does, it actually measures the sugar levels in the brew and tells you how much it's going to ferment down to. So the starting gravity, I'll take a picture and I'll show you. That's not it. So yeah, SG reading of 1031, so 1.031. So it's not so high, but it doesn't matter. It's hopefully going to be a tasty beer. That means it will ferment down fairly low, maybe to 0.005, something like that. If it does, it'll be about 4% alcohol, which is great. So you can drink it a bit more and quench your thirst during the summertime. So it'll be perfect for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and keep your eye out for more videos to come. See ya.